Death is inevitable, yet it often comes in ways we cannot predict. While we prepare for aging, illness, or accidents, history has repeatedly shown us that death can arrive in utterly bizarre, shocking, and completely unexpected forms. From emperors to philosophers, from kings to commoners, countless individuals have met ends so strange that even centuries later, their deaths continue to fascinate, horrify, and mystify historians. This is a journey into some of the most bizarre and unexpected deaths in recorded history, where ordinary moments became extraordinary tragedies. The philosopher who laughed to death, Chrysippus of Soli. In the 3rd century BCE, ancient Greece was a hub of intellectual pursuit, philosophy, and reason. Among its most celebrated thinkers was Chrysippus of Soli, a Stoic philosopher revered for his sharp intellect, rigorous logic, and deep understanding of ethics. He spent his life unraveling the mysteries of human behavior, reason, and morality, influencing generations that followed. Yet, fate had a strange sense of irony reserved for him. Historical accounts tell us that Chrysippus died in a manner so unexpected it borders on the absurd. One day, while observing a donkey eating figs, he jokes that the donkey should also be given wine. The thought struck him as so comically absurd that he laughed uncontrollably. Hours passed, and Chrysippus's laughter intensified to a point that his body could not handle. Finally, he collapsed and died, suffocated by his own mirth. It is said that even the wisest and most rational of men are not immune to the forces of life. Chrysippus's death is often cited not only as a tragic comic tale, but as a cautionary example of how emotions, even those as harmless as laughter, can overwhelm the human body. A philosopher dedicated to reason perished because of an uncontrollable, irrational force, a paradox that history has remembered for centuries. 2. The emperor drowned in a toilet, Elagabalus. Fast forward several centuries to the Roman Empire, one of the most powerful civilizations in human history. Among its rulers was Emperor Elagabalus, a figure notorious for his excess, eccentricity, and controversial reign. Elagabalus ascended to power at a young age and became infamous for decadent parties, religious experiments, and behaviors that scandalized Roman society. Despite his position as emperor, Elagabalus's life was filled with political enemies and personal danger. Eventually, these enemies plotted his downfall. Historical sources reveal that Elagabalus was ambushed by his own soldiers, dragged from his palace, and thrown into a latrine where he drowned. The very man who considered himself divine met a death both shocking and humiliating. Elagabalus's demise serves as a stark reminder that power and influence do not guarantee safety. Life, especially in the ancient world, could turn on a single moment of betrayal or misfortune. The emperor who once ruled Rome with an iron will and divine pretensions was reduced to a victim of fate's cruel irony, leaving history with a grotesque yet unforgettable story. 3. The Dancing Plague of 1518. Perhaps one of the most mystifying events in European history occurred in 1518 in Strasbourg, Europe. Known as the Dancing Plague, it began when a woman named Frau Trophia started dancing uncontrollably in the streets. What began as an isolated incident quickly escalated into a mass phenomenon. Within days, dozens of others joined her, unable to resist the compulsive urge to dance. Historical records suggest that hundreds of people were affected over several weeks. These dancers moved continuously, often collapsing from exhaustion, strokes, heart attacks, or dehydration. Some even died mid-dance. Town authorities, desperate to intervene, tried everything from music to food, religious rituals, and even exorcisms. Yet nothing stopped the compulsion. Modern scholars debate the causes of this bizarre epidemic. Some suggest mass hysteria, others propose ergot poisoning from contaminated rye bread, a fungus that induces hallucinations and convulsions. Still, no definitive explanation exists. What is clear is that the dancing plague represents one of the strangest collective human experiences ever recorded, showing how the human body and mind can, in rare cases, betray their owner with deadly consequences. 4. The tailor who fell from the Eiffel Tower, Franz Reichelt. In 1912, the city of Paris witnessed one of the most shocking engineering disasters in history. Franz Reichelt, an Austrian tailor, had invented a wearable parachute he believed could save pilots' lives. Confident in his creation, Reichelt insisted on testing the device personally, choosing the Eiffel Tower, one of the tallest structures in the world, as the site for the demonstration. Onlookers gathered with anticipation, expecting an incredible feat of human ingenuity. Reichelt leapt from the tower, trusting entirely in his invention. Tragically, the parachute failed to deploy. Within seconds, he struck the ground, dying instantly. The event was filmed, immortalizing the fatal moment for posterity. Reichelt's death is more than a shocking anecdote. It symbolizes the dangerous intersection of ambition, overconfidence, and human curiosity. A man who sought to save lives instead perished because he underestimated the risk of testing unproven technology on himself. His story is a cautionary tale about the thin line between genius and fatal error. 5. King Charles II of Spain, death by minor cut. King Charles II of Spain, often called El Hechizado or the Bewitched, was plagued by ill health throughout his life. In 1683, while shaving, he suffered a seemingly minor cut. What should have been inconsequential became fatal due to the medical practices of the time. Bloodletting, leeches, and toxic remedies worsened his condition, ultimately leading to a deadly infection. Charles II died not because of the minor cut itself, but because of the harmful treatments intended to heal him. This tragedy illustrates the limits of human knowledge in medical science at the time and highlights the vulnerability of even the most powerful individuals. No wealth, no throne, and no influence could protect him from a seemingly trivial incident escalating into death. 6. Philemon, the lawyer who died from his own arguments. In ancient Greece, the lawyer Philemon experienced a death as bizarre as it was tragic. While delivering an impassioned courtroom argument, he became overwhelmed by his own emotions. Speaking with intensity and fervor, he strained his body beyond its limits. Suddenly, his heart gave out mid-sentence, and he collapsed, dead. Philemon's death is a striking example of how emotional stress can be lethal. Extreme mental exertion coupled with physical strain proved fatal. Historians regard his death as a warning about the power of the mind over the body. Even in controlled intellectual settings, human physiology can succumb to overwhelming intensity, proving that death is sometimes as unpredictable as it is indiscriminate. 7. The Egyptian official crushed by his own treasure. In ancient Egypt, wealth was often seen as a pathway to power and immortality. One high-ranking official, obsessed with securing a glorious afterlife, demanded that his tomb be filled with unimaginable amounts of gold, jewels, and statues. The opulence was staggering, enough to make the pharaohs themselves envious. However, the weight of these treasures proved catastrophic. Over time, structural failure caused the tomb to collapse, crushing the sarcophagus and the man inside. The irony of the situation is chilling. The very wealth meant to honor him in death became the instrument of his demise. This story is a powerful reminder of how human ambition and desire for legacy can inadvertently bring about death. Even in a society that revered the afterlife, no amount of preparation could outsmart fate. 8. The industrial era inventor killed by his own machine. The Industrial Revolution was an era of innovation, ingenuity, and progress, but also of danger. During this time, factories were filled with massive, untested machinery, and inventors often took extreme risks.
One ambitious engineer unveiled a new machine designed to revolutionize production. He was eager to demonstrate its power to investors and the public. During the demonstration, the machine malfunctioned. The inventor was caught in its gears and was killed instantly. His creation, intended to improve lives, became the instrument of his death. The tragedy illustrates a recurring theme in history: the collision of ambition and human error. Even the most brilliant minds can fall victim to the tools they create, especially when safety is ignored or underestimated. Pope John XII. Death from fear and shock. In the 10th century, Pope John XII, a controversial figure in the Catholic Church, reportedly suffered a fatal stroke when discovered in a scandalous situation. Accounts describe him being overwhelmed by fear and panic at the sudden confrontation. While the exact details remain debated, this death illustrates the lethal power of extreme emotional stress. Fear and panic, as shown in historical cases like this, can have real, fatal effects on the human body. Even the highest spiritual authority in Christendom was not immune to the vulnerabilities of the human heart and mind. 10. The man who choked on a grape, Prince of Parma. In a bizarre incident in the 17th century, a young prince from Parma, Italy, met an unexpected and almost absurd death. While enjoying a lavish banquet, he accidentally choked on a grape. Despite the presence of skilled attendants and immediate attempts to dislodge the obstruction, the prince suffocated before any intervention could save him. This story highlights a chilling truth: death can strike even in moments of indulgence and leisure. In an era without modern medical knowledge, even minor accidents could become fatal. The prince's demise became a cautionary tale about how fragile life is, regardless of status or wealth. 11. The adventurer killed by his own curiosity. Alexander Selkirk, a Scottish sailor, famously inspired the novel Robinson Crusoe. Known for his adventurous spirit, he once chose to live alone on a remote island in the Pacific South for several years. While his survival story is legendary, his eventual death was ironic and tragic. After returning to civilization, Selkirk participated in several naval expeditions. During one such journey, he explored a remote region filled with unknown hazards. In a moment of curiosity and courage, he encountered dangerous wildlife, and despite his experience and knowledge, he was fatally injured. Selkirk's story emphasizes that curiosity, while often celebrated as a virtue, carries risks. His death reminds us that even those who survive extreme conditions are not invulnerable once they re-enter the unpredictable world. 12. The scholar crushed by falling books. Library tragedy. During the 18th century in Europe, a scholar was working late in a grand library filled with towering shelves of manuscripts. Historical records note that he was reorganizing rare and heavy volumes when an improperly secured stack toppled over. The books fell directly on him, causing instant death. This bizarre accident became a cautionary tale about the dangers of scholarly obsession. Even intellectual pursuit, usually associated with safety and learning, could lead to sudden and fatal consequences. The scholar's fate reminds us of how fragile life can be, even in serene and controlled environments. 13. The nobleman who died from laughter. King Peter of Castile. King Peter of Castile, known for his eccentric personality, reportedly died in a fit of laughter. During a festive banquet, he was amused by a humorous tale recounted by one of his courtiers. The king laughed uncontrollably, eventually collapsing from what contemporary sources describe as heart failure induced by laughter. Though rare, deaths caused by laughter have been documented in history. These cases demonstrate the unpredictable ways human physiology can fail and how emotions, even joy, can be lethal under extreme circumstances. King Peter's death remains one of the most memorable examples of this phenomenon. 14. The explorer killed by a falling coconut. Pacific Islands. During the 19th century, European explorers ventured into the Pacific Islands, documenting cultures, wildlife, and geography. One such explorer, while resting under a coconut palm, was fatally struck by a falling coconut. Though it may seem almost comical, the force of a falling coconut is substantial enough to cause lethal injuries. This unusual accident is one of many examples in history where death occurs in unexpected, everyday situations. The incident serves as a reminder of the unpredictability of life and how even the most experienced and cautious individuals can fall victim to trivial events. 15. The magician who died during a trick, Jean-Eugène Robert Houdin. Jean-Eugène Robert Houdin, considered the father of modern magic, performed elaborate illusions for audiences across Europe in the 19th century. In one fateful performance, a mechanical device used in a complex escape trick malfunctioned. Despite his skill and preparation, Houdin was fatally injured during the demonstration. This story highlights the inherent risks of combining human skill with machinery and how innovation in entertainment or art can unexpectedly become lethal. Houdin's death is a reminder that even performers with meticulous planning are not immune to the hazards of their craft.